Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Pixelcast. I am your host, Ben, and today I am joined by some lovely people. We are going to be talking about the games that we enjoyed playing this year and the soundtracks and just all of that fun stuff. Today with me, I have Mr. Kain White,
Hi, I am that person.
Mr. Levi,
Hi, I'm Levi. I used to go by Legendary Metroid, but I kind of am fading that out.
and then Mr. Farrell.
Hi guys, my name is Mr. Farrell.
Well, thank you all for being here. I'm so glad you could join me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
It's good to be here.
All right, so today is like we wanted to kind of talk about the games of the year, but we wanted to kind of go a little bit more in depth instead of just talking about the Game Awards game of the year. So today I want to talk about like what games we played this year that were fun that didn't come out this year, the ones that did come out this year, favorite soundtracks of this year, and then like also things like games that we haven't played yet that we still want to play, and maybe the games that we didn't enjoy so much. Our favorite game that we played this year that didn't come out in 2017. So I guess I can start it off. So for my third and second choice, I had Borderlands and then Tropico 4 and 5. That's cheating, I know that. Having two games there, but
Yeah.
just like,
same franchise.
yeah, they're very similar games, but those two games are really fun. Borderlands is a great co-op game. That's why I played it this year. Tropico, it's a great city sim game. Great music, great all around. So that's why I chose that.
So for my third choice, it's Halo Combat Evolved, which I never really got to try the series all that much, but I have a friend who's about equally horrible at FPSs as me, and we've decided to go through the entire Halo series because we both always wanted to, and that's been really fun so far. Except for the library. I hate the library. I don't know why they did that. My second choice is actually Windlands, not Wildlands, not Ghost Recon, but Windlands. It's a VR game, and I can't believe how much fun I'm having with it. It's just, I don't know. You have to look it up to really understand it, but it's a very nice game.
Okay, my third favorite was Ori and the Blind Forest. I got into
that's
it.
a good one.
Nice.
Yeah,
That
I got
one's
into it
great.
a bit late and only played it later on, a while after it came out. But yeah, just something about like that Metroidvania-esque. And also, it's just all around sad. Second favorite, Hotline Miami 2.
Oh,
That's a good one.
for good things.
Because I just like to make myself angry at a game I'm playing. I lost count of how many times I was just like holding my controller tightly and just being like, okay, I'm going to attempt this level for the 100th time.
That's Super Mario Maker for me.
For my third choice, I'm going to go with Shadow of Mordor because I know it's been out for a while now, but this is the first time I ever got around to actually playing it. Like I say, it's really enjoyable. Mostly, I don't know, it's really fun to go around and take control of all the orcs. And the combat in that game, oh my god, it is really fluid. And it is so easy to just keep fighting everybody and just keep the combat up. I think the fighting is almost pretty similar to how Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, the
and
Batman games.
yeah, I think they have kind of a similar fighting style. So it's really, really enjoyable to just be constantly fighting and not really have any interruption or anything like that. Second favorite from 2017. I've already beat it once, and I was playing through it again. Would have to go to Witcher 3, just because that game is, oh my god, that game is so open, and I really enjoy that because there is so many opening quests that you don't even have to bother with the main quest for like a while if you really don't want to. You can just help everybody out around the town, do a bunch of quests.
So for got some honorable mentions before we get to our first choices. For me, my honorable mention was Skyrim, just because it came out again on the Switch, and I got to play it again. I was like, this is a fun game. I'm not gonna make it number one or anything because it's Skyrim, but it's definitely a fun game. It's just plays well on the Switch. I'm really happy about that, so can't complain.
So for my honorable mentions, some other ones I played this year were Okami, Metro Last Light, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and The Wolf Among Us. And I really enjoyed a lot of those. I still only just started Metro Last Light, so I can't say much on it, but Okami, it's really up there for me. It has a really slow start, but it's got a great soundtrack and some great ideas, and I really like the aesthetic. And it's actually coming out again on the 12th for its 4th release. Because it came out on PS2, then it came out on Wii, then it came out on PS3, now it's coming out on the modern platforms.
My honorable mentions, the first one is for Danganronpa, which I only played this year and really enjoyed those. And the other one is also for One Shot, which came out, I think it was December of last year, so it never really got any reception to it, because it was just after that period where everything else had come out. But it's definitely really enjoyable.
Did you have an honorable mention, Mr.
Yeah,
Fred?
actually, listening, you guys gave me some ideas that I forgot that I played this year. Besides Danganronpa, I did not forget that. First one would have to be Samus Returns. I actually really enjoyed the controls, the whole 360-degree movement. You can't see it, but I'm actually just swinging my hand around in a whole circle to mimic what Samus does in the game. Because, I don't know, I think that's the first thing I did in that game was just have her just aiming around the circles. Like, this is so nice. Why was this never featured until now? I want to say definitely pretty difficult, mainly because the enemies, when they hit you, they hit hard, pretty damn hard actually. But after a while, you kind of learn to read them, and you have this nice ability to deflect them, which opens them up for a wide range of opportunities to, destroy them. My only complaints is mainly the music. There's some section there they'll borrow music from Super Metroid. I get it. Super Metroid's a great game. Its music is phenomenal. Metroid 2 isn't Super Metroid. It has its own identity. And when you hear, like, what is it, Lower Brightstar and the Norfair theme, every time you get into a hot zone, it really took me out of the game. I was like, why are you throwing these songs in here for? Just let Metroid 2, don't be afraid to let Metroid 2 have its own identity. That's what helps people immerse in the game, when you have really good music.
All right. So for my first choice for my favorite game of not this year, that I played this year that did not come out this year though, has to be Rocket League. I checked my Steam hours, like how long I've played it. I have it for 637 hours total.
Damn.
I don't know how to check. I don't know how to check for my yearly hours, but it's definitely over 100. I can say that. So, I mean, like,
Oh man,
I'm addicted to that game. I've bought all the DLC. I buy too many of the keys for the loot crates. It's a fun game, and I'm addicted.
At first I thought you meant that you played 600 hours this year.
No.
That's what freaked me out at
I've had it
first.
since 2014, I think. Like December of 14. So
I think I got it like last year. I haven't really played it that much. I really suck at it.
see, everyone sucks at it, then they stop playing. Or if you keep playing it for 600 hours, you get kind of okay
Just
at
kind of okay. You still suck a little bit. But you can score the goal occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, you see the ball, you hit the ball.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Aiming? That's when you get to 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
My first pick was Banjo-Kazooie, which I had never played. When I was a kid, one of the first games I was ever introduced to was Banjo-Tooie, when someone on the other side of the duplex I lived in played it, but then my parents decided I couldn't watch it because it was scary.
What?
I was like 5, and they thought, I don't know what haunted level or something, and it was kind of scary, but I always wanted to go back and play the games. And so I finally got around to playing Kazooie this year, and that was a really enjoyable experience. It's a very fun game. Turns out the world you're supposed to do third, I ended up doing last because I had no idea it was there. But that was also that's the first game I ever live streamed beginning to end, and it was really fun just for that. It was a very new experience, very enjoyable, and I really like the game. I just don't know if I'll play Banjo-Tooie or Mario Odyssey or A Hat in Time or Ukulele or what 3D platformers next.
Yep, my top pick is the first BioShock.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's just so good.
Yeah. Did you play the PC remaster or what?
Yeah, because they gave the remasters away for free on Steam, so just got those as well, which gave a nice opportunity to replay it.
I didn't actually beat the game. I got past like the definitive moment of the game, and then my friend wanted to borrow it, and then his dog ate it, and I never went back to it.
That's probably a fair enough reason not to have finished a game.
This probably comes as no surprise to my friends, but favorite game this year, not released this year, has to hands down go to Smash Brothers for the Wii U. Still,
that was actually my runner-up.
Still,
nice.
We play this game like every week after we get off work on Friday nights, and it lasts like hours and tons of fun usually. Not usually for them, because the game is really, I don't know why, but the game is really nepotistic towards me. There are so many times that the game, we usually play with items on just for the extra fun. And the game, I don't know what it is, but it loves me. Because there is way too many times to count the game will just spawn a star directly above my head, or it will only just fall on me. There's too many times when I am like near death, and there's this, those little grass roots you can pick up from like Mario 2. Here comes a heart container or something. It is just absolutely unbelievable. Anything I summon from like the little assist trophies, they will do their damnedest to just like whoop my friend's ass and then leave. They do it. They basically commit suicide. There's been multiple times my brother has the summon assist trophy, and they will literally jump off the level and die.
What, and you just keep getting like Latios or something, or the twins, or the Master Balls?
Mostly, yeah. Like I usually play Cam Falcon. I've recently switched to playing Roy. They hate me even more because of that. They grew tired of hearing the Fire Emblem winning theme. But yeah, that game, tons of fun. Always a pleasure to play.
And one of those games that are just best to play in a room with your group of friends, because it's way more entertaining to just annoy your friends in person. Like, whenever I play with friends, I either play as Ness and do the thing where you hit yourself with the PK Lightning into them, or as Peach and throw turnips at them. Yeah. Whichever.
There's been times when me and my brother would just deliberately annoy the piss out of our friend that we've got into the game. We'd both be like Ness, and he'd be trying to do something, and we both get in between him, and we just spam PK fire, and he's just like, "Go, you stop!"
With that, favorite games of 2017. That's basically what games came out this year that we think were just the most fun to play. So I'm actually going to have Levi start us out on that one.
So my third place is Robo Recall, which is an Oculus Rift exclusive that came out in March. And although I haven't tried too many games on the Rift since I only got it later this year, that one I feel is probably the one that understands how to make a game in VR the best right now that I've played. Because there's so many things you can do in it that there's no way you could do this on console or with a mouse and keyboard. Like, it's just gameplay mechanics that just work with VR and make it all seamless. And I just really enjoy it for that alone. That, and it has the dumbest antagonist I've ever seen. It's a robot that gets possessed by the internet, and everything he says is either a meme or something from the YouTube comment section. And then he just dies because he gets too many downvotes.
That is just so silly.
I know. It's amazing. My second pick is Breath of the Wild, which I really enjoyed. I mean, I don't know what else to say about Breath of the Wild. Everyone just kind of knows everything there is to it. I just really enjoyed it. I don't know what else to say. I really like that they brought parry in. I feel like that was probably my favorite thing to do in the game, was to just parry everything.
That's something that came from Wind Waker, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I just know that parry was a really big part in my playtime, because I struggled a lot in the beginning. Then once I figured out how overpowered parry was, if you could figure out how to do it, then it was amazing. And then even within like my first hour, I was already killing every guardian I saw.
Third favorite of the year was Resident Evil 7. It was like a nice actual return to Resident Evil not being shit, unlike 5 and 6, which just ugh.
And Raccoon City,
yeah.
or no, what was that one? They had like an online multiplayer that came out last year.
I know the one that you mean, that essentially became like setting up defenses or something.
The one that just everyone had horrible things to say about.
So it was nice to actually see another decent Resident Evil after it not being good for so long. And it was actually an enjoyable experience rather than forcing yourself to finish it.
And it was one of few horror games that's really getting the whole like scares through environment rather than jump
which
scares.
Is just lazy. Okay, and second favorite of the year was Hollow Knight. Because once again, I like to make myself angry. Because like when I was playing it, I didn't realize that my controller was starting to die, so it was being really unresponsive right at the start. I was like, oh man, this game is really difficult. Then I realized it was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Bought a new controller, then it was more okay. But yeah, that game was just phenomenal.
Let's see, favorite games 2017. Third had to be what I'm playing through right now, which is Divinity 2. It is really, really enjoyable. It's got kind of a Dungeons and Dragons vibe to it. I really enjoy how it seems like you're taking part in the actual story and actually, changing it to how the actual world will develop around you, instead of everything is just based on everything being made beforehand and then you're just playing through it. It's really fun. I'm not usually for the whole tactile RPG kind of playthrough. It's actually really enjoyable. I've spent nearly 30 hours and I don't think I've even hit the halfway point yet with it. I really enjoy how like the story will change if you do not have certain characters with them, because there's one character in the beginning I killed because he was a bit of a dick, and I met someone later who's like, yeah, if you could bring me that dick here, I would, if you have like a certain event happen. I was like, say about that, that's not going to happen. I kind of killed him.
Little corpse
technically, I think it would. I did rip his face. So my character is a little bit like Arya from Game of Thrones. I have a face ripper. I don't know if I can make another helmet that'll be able to change faces, but if it does, I'm definitely using that person's face, and I'm going to see if she has anything to say about me. Really unique. Second favorite, actually a little shocking, is going to go to Mario Odyssey. That game, tons of charm. I definitely really loved it. Just feels like it kind of overstays its welcome just a little bit because of all the amount of moons that you have to get. I know they're not recommended, to get like 500 or whatever. It definitely has a lot of good times, like the music, especially the parade in Metro City. That section, probably one of my most favorite in the game. Least favorite section, near the end of the game, there's a 2D area. Let's just go with it was not the best of times because it had a gimmick about it that if you ran outside the bounds, you were more than likely going to die if you got 5 feet ahead of the safe zone. And I don't know how long I've tried that level until I beat it. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites. I do enjoy some of the music, just not all of it.
I didn't play Mario Odyssey yet, but isn't there a place in it called New Donk City?
Yeah, there is tons of Donkey Kong references in there.
No,
like
but the
street
issue with it
signs.
being called New Donk City is that donk in the UK is slang for condom. So I think someone should probably have looked into that a bit first before release, because I cannot hear that with a straight face now.
All right. So my third choice, I had a difficult decision, kind of picking which one. Because neither. You know what? Honorable mention. I can do 2 honorable mentions, huh? All right. Third choice, just decided right now. Shantae, Half Genie Hero, came out December 2016. I'm still counting it since it's been basically this year of gaming. It's a platformer. It's a Metroidvania style game. Great music. I don't know what else to say about it. It's good.
Wasn't the music composed by Jake Kaufman?
Yes.
It was. Yeah. And he just outdid himself from Pirate's Curse, the game beforehand. And it's just really good. I recommend anybody, at the very least, listening to the soundtrack. I think you can get it for free on his Bandcamp. If not, you can find it on YouTube. Just give it a listen.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of excellent tracks on it, like Burning Town and Dance Through the Danger, I think. Was that from that game or the one before?
Yeah. No, that was this game.
Are they porting those games to the Switch? Or are they?
They already are. Half Genie Hero is, at least. I don't know if Pirate's Curse is or not, but I have Half Genie on the Switch. Let's see. So my second choice is going to be Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean, it was already mentioned before. It's a great game. Again, like the fact that you can like explore crap to the extent that you can is really cool. My problem only came with when I got down to like the treasure hunting. Just doing all of the, what are they called? The challenges?
Shrines?
The trials or whatever. Oh. Where you have to fight the guardians and the shrines. Like the small and the medium tasks were fine. The larger ones I thought was just a bit too much considering how many there were. So that's kind of why it wasn't my number one pick. But yeah, again, Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think we all know it very well.
I think we'll probably discuss that a bit more later on when we go over.
Yeah, definitely.
My honorable mentions were Pokken Tournament DX, PUBG, which I thought was just going to be in beta, but I guess it's actually coming out in a couple weeks, so it is still count. Paradigm, which I doubt anyone here knows about, but it was a really fun point-and-click game. What Remains of Edith Finch, not really a game, but I really enjoyed it, and I like the style it went for. Hive Swap, technically they just have kind of an episode 1 or a demo out, but I really like the charm there. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, kind of Dark Souls-y in the gameplay and aesthetics, but I really like what they did with the audio design there. They did everything in 3D audio recording. Golf with Your Friends. Sonic Mania, Nidhogg 2, and then one that I didn't play that much of, but technically a 2017 release, Star Fox 2.
I'll count it.
Okay, I've just got 2 honorable mentions. Cuphead, and of course, Doki Doki Literature Club, which I believe Ben just played yesterday, was it?
Yes, 2 days ago.
Monica did nothing wrong.
Yeah, those are just my choices for honorable mentions, which seem like they should be mentioned, but didn't place for me.
No honorable mentions for Mr. Farrell.
Okay.
So I will take his time. Fuck you, I'm the host. All right. So I have 2 honorable mentions. The first one was the one I was talking about before. That was possibly third place. Golf with Your Friends. Like, it's a mini golf simulator. It's a fuck your friends up simulator. There's a basketball mode now.
What the hell?
Like, and the cubes.
Yeah. And the cubes and all the acorn, you know. It's fun. But it's like, that's it. Yeah. My main honorable mention, Doki Doki Literature Club.
Still don't know much about it.
I think that's better before you actually play it. It's one of those games to go into blind.
Yeah, can I talk about it, or do you want to stay spoiler free on this one, Levi?
Yeah, I think it's better spoiler free.
I mean, I can be talked into playing it, so probably spoiler free.
Okay, I'll try to dance around it.
I mean, maybe the fans want to look into it too.
Good point.
Yeah, because this game just came out in like October, so it's still fairly new. I'll limit.
It's got some
Mario
good
Odyssey
music,
came out
right?
in October.
Yeah, this game, if you want to call it a game, was interesting.
I'm intrigued.
Like it straight up says it's a psychological horror, so I'm not gonna keep that spoiler free.
Yeah, it actually
But,
gives
like-
you a warning. It gives you a warning beforehand.
Yeah, so there's no spoilers about that.
Okay.
But the way they execute it, in my opinion, is like some of the best like storytelling in like media, in like in any horror media. It's like it's probably the only like horror themed game, movie, whatever that still like kind of like sticks with me. You know?
Yeah, like it was
Like, it was pretty
legitimately
impactful.
creepy and
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
relying
I mean,
on
it was
jump
okay at
scares
first.
We need
and-
more games like that.
Yeah, like I'm like a little bitch. I played through has anybody else?
Yeah, I've
yes.
already beaten it.
Okay, you two have. So I'm trying to do this without spoilers. You go through the first chunk of the game, and then the first big impactful scene happens.
which came out of like nowhere. It was just like,
Yeah.
wait, what the actual?
I
don't think it came out of nowhere. I thought I knew what I was going to see before it happened. I was like,
Yeah.
those are
um,
all choice of words.
Anyways, I thought that was the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And then I looked more into it on YouTube, and I was like, that's just the end of the first act.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's 3 acts. I'm like, oh. So I just spent like the next like hour or two after I played the game watching all like the endings and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is a really good game,
Yeah.
but I'm glad I didn't play it.
Yeah, when I started up after that, I was like, this seems different. And oh, man,
Yeah.
did it get different real quick.
Yeah. And like the only reason why it's my honorable mention is because it just came out. I'm assuming this is recency bias of why I think it's so good.
Yeah.
So, anyways, thank you for your time. Levi, first choice, please.
Okay. Now, because of the SNES Classic, I can say that Super Metroid was the game of the year again, because it always is. I'm kidding, but if you did let me do that, I would do that for most of the things on this podcast. My number 1 pick is Night in the Woods, which is an indie game from I think March or April or something.
What a coincidence, because that was also my pick for Game of the Year.
Oh, but I'd say there's a lot of things I like about it. I really enjoy the art style and the plot and kind of how things lay out. But I think the two things that, and the audio the soundtrack is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's very unique. And the two things that I think stand out the most to me are kind of because it's focused on my or our demographic of kind of like university students type age group and life scenarios. And it's really just kind of focused on May, who's just a character who dropped out of college and is trying to figure out how she wants to go about life. And it kind of hits home for my age group. And the script is really solid. I really enjoy that.
And despite it having a few issues, like the dialogue at times are a bit off.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say the dialogue was off in a way like Life is Strange, where it was clearly like a 40-year-old guy trying to sound like a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree on all elements there. Yeah, and also because my game of the year was Night in the Woods, because it had a lot of different elements to it, even with the rhythm games in it, where you play like a Guitar Hero style mini game at certain points, and also the story being quite relatable until later on, because having been in that same position where you move away from your hometown, then you come back and it's just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Things are all different now.
Yeah.
Oh.
And of course, the soundtrack just being amazing.
My game of the year, I actually started it before Mario Odyssey came out. Then I got sidetracked by Mario Odyssey. That game had a lot to offer, but I don't know. It just I don't really know. And I came back to A Hat in Time and fell in love with that game all over again. I don't know what it is. It's just that game has so much freaking charm to it. Like the ending, I don't know. It kind of felt like it pulled an Undertale to me, and I'm just like here. I'm sitting here trying to beat the final boss. Like, no, I'm not crying. You're crying, you piece of shit. Because it's the music. It's I don't know. It's everything just all at once at the very end of it, and it's been like one of the most memorable games I've played. Especially the music. The music is pretty damn good, and just on spot. And I love the fact that I think most acts in the game have different music for the aerials. Yeah, Hat in Time definitely my favorite game of this year.
Yeah, my first choice of game of the year is gonna go to Super Mario Odyssey, which was really surprising for me, honestly, because I thought it was gonna go to Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
But the problems that I had with Zelda was what kept it at number 2. Like I've always been kind of bad at Mario games, like 64 and Sunshine I've never beaten to this day.
Oh.
But with Odyssey, like I'm still playing through it, but I've never run into an issue where I'm like struggling with the game.
Yeah.
So I think just the fact that it's a bit more easier to play through, it seems, just makes it better for me. You know, the soundtrack is great. It just, I don't know, it's a good game. You know?
Yeah.
No surprises.
No, it's really good.
And then like all of the I don't have any of the amiibo stuff, but I've seen some of like the skins, the costumes that you can get, and also the ones that you can just buy in game. Like they're just funny.
Yeah.
Like you can put Mario in boxers or whatever. That's funny.
I don't know much about it. I beat Cascade Kingdom, and that's about where I left it off. So half an hour into the game.
So next is the game we didn't enjoy this.
Oh man, I've got some issues
one?
here.
Yeah. Anything we played this year,
boy.
not just 2017.
Okay, yeah. I only have one game on here. Does anybody have less? Not less, but like similar, like one.
Yeah,
or
I
two?
have
got
2
one as
now that
well.
we brought up Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay.
I have 13.
Okay.
Let's keep that down a bit.
I'll just say
Yeah,
titles.
We're
gonna
running
let-
over later, so
Yeah,
keep
let's
it down a bit.
let's just lightning round this one
Okay.
really quick.
Yeah.
All right, so Kain,
okay.
start us off.
Outlast 2. What a piece of trash! Like,
I
how
haven't
do you
played it
mess
yet.
that up so badly? Like, just what? It like I got
Was it like-
genuinely bored at points because in the first one, like the whole thing was you can't fight, you just have to run, and like it was well designed in that way in the first one of you have to actually run, hide, squeeze between spaces to get away. But a lot of that was taken out in the second one because it'd be like I mentioned it earlier in the Discord saying like it's less scary to run away from something, and when you're in a wide open area such as a cornfield, it's like, oh cool, you're over there. I'm gonna go hide later. And the over-reliance on things like jump scares or the cliche musical cues where I think it was Toxden Trail said, hey, this is the part where you're meant to be scared. It's like,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you. Whereas like a game like Resident Evil 7, or I haven't played it yet, but I've heard is good, The Evil Within 2, which is by all means apparently an improvement over the first one, and has actually gone into the territory of being scary. So yeah, that was my major grievance of the year.
My own kind of a minor pick for me, Metal Gear Solid 5, mainly for its constant repetitive missions. Like, this game could have easily been shortened by getting rid of a lot of the filler missions. There's only like, I believe, 50 main missions. But most of the time you're doing the same thing over and over again, which is, I know Hideo didn't have much of, probably tried his best given the circumstances with Konami, but it really killed the game for me. I still haven't finished it. Second game has to go with Sonic Mania. Let me clarify, I love the game, really fun. The level design, I really hated the fact how much it seemed like they were relying on spikes It's just like the Titanic Monarch, I believe, the last level. It was super bad about that. Like there's so many times it would just kill you by ramming you into spikes, and you couldn't. It was really hard to avoid because it already killed your momentum because it already had spikes at the edges of the level that you'd almost always run into, and that was the case for like most of the game. I really wish they just kind of backed off on the spikes and just tried to work their way around that.
Yeah, so I only have one game that I didn't enjoy, and it's not a bad game. It was Mario and Rabbids for the Switch. I got it because there was a lot of hype to it. People were saying like, "Oh man, this was like surprisingly a good game." You know, it's like a good soundtrack, good gameplay, whatever. So I was like, I'll pick it up. And then I started playing it, and it was okay. But I realized that I'm not a huge fan of the genre.
Well, like the XCOM
I've
style.
never played. Yeah, I've never played an XCOM style game before, but it looked fun.
Very selective.
But yeah, I've never played one, so I wasn't sure how I'd like it. And it's just okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, it just straight up, I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Not bad a game, just wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'll just really rush through mine. I played Splinter Cell, the first one, on the original Xbox. I really wanted to like it, liked most of the series. The controls and the AI was just way too sensitive for me. I think, I did do a video on it. I played for like 2 hours and made it like past 3 waves of enemies. And then I found out that just killing everyone is the way to do it. It's the only way to progress in that game, and it just can't stand a lot of things with that. Hey Pikmin, most people don't even know it came out, but they made a 2D Pikmin game for the 3DS. The Pikmin series does not work in 2D. Just that's all you need to say.
Yeah.
Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Really wanted to heard a lot of good things. First game I actually played on the Dreamcast. It mostly just ran into the problem that it was too dark. Like, I'd turn all my monitors to the highest brightness, try it on different monitors, try it on a CRT, and you just can't see. The game is virtually pitch black at all times. And people didn't even turn into my live streams for that because it was just so hard to watch. Then just runner-ups, Silent Hill 2, Snipper Clips, Lucky's Tale, Rise Son of Rome, Rainbow Six on the PS1, Super Mario Run, 1-2 Switch, which I actually got, and then returned. Prey, and then Miitopia, but Miitopia, I guess it does work if you're in the target audience for that. I've seen a lot of people get some good content out of that in like the Let's Play community, but I didn't enjoy it that much.
Next on our topic, we kind of want to talk about the games that we didn't have a chance to play in 2017, but we still want to at some point. So again, we're probably just going to go through this really quick. So Farrell, if you want to start us off, if you have any.
Yeah. Mainly most of mine are just, whatever hit game that came out that wasn't on a Switch or PC.
Same.
It pretty much is for me. Like, I don't own a PS4. My missed games this year have to go to Persona 5. I've heard that game it's actually really freaking cool, really good. I loved the music from what I did and have heard. Outlast 2, I don't know. I've seen some gameplay of it. I wanted to try it out, see how it was, because Outlast 1.
Just don't. It'll make you sad.
Yeah. I remember my first experience with Outlast. It was terrifying. Up until the very end. That last section, it was just unfair territory. It's just one hit death. Like, that's great. It's good.
Gameplay.
Yeah. Just for your life, pray you don't, hit this, wall or anything, or else you might die. I need to pick up Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because I didn't have a problem with the first one. I actually really enjoyed it. The music, like freaking "You Will Know Our Names." Oh my god!
Well, to be fair, that doesn't come out till Friday.
Yeah. Just a note. I don't know when this podcast comes out, but the game comes out 2 days after we record.
Yeah.
I don't know if Wolfenstein 2 is out yet. I think it's. Yeah, it is another one I need to pick up, and another one that people have been raving about is the new Nier game, Nier Automata, or Automata, whatever it is.
I think. I don't know.
Automaton.
Not quite.
Those are my picks for Miss Games.
So for my choices, I'm looking at it and it's literally just all like stuff that you play on Nintendo. I realize I definitely got the Nintendo bug this year, and there's more to come. So just really quickly, ukulele, I want to try it. I've never played the Banjo series in depth, so I want to try with ukulele.
I think they're still coming out with that on Switch. For a while, I thought it was canceled, but I guess it's still sometime soon.
I think it's 14th
I want to say
of
it's coming
December.
out like next week.
Yeah, it's really soon.
So in like 2 weeks or so. Yeah. Sonic Mania, I just want to try it because it looks cool. That's kind of it. Splatoon 2, my friend really enjoyed the first Splatoon, so he kind of hooked me on wanting to play Splatoon 2. And then the big one, which is funny, I just bought this last night, so I still haven't played it yet. It was Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I wasn't a huge fan of Sun and Moon, but I also didn't touch the series at all in the year that it's been out since then. So I'm kind of like getting back into it with like a more fresh start.
Did you
so I'm
do
hoping
the same thing with Sun and Moon, where you like I bought it at launch, played through it, and I haven't touched it since.
Yeah, I literally bought it, I think day one or week one, played through it over the course of a couple weeks, maybe a month. And once I beat the game, that was it. Yeah. I didn't even do like the legendary hunting afterwards or trying to do any post game crap. It was one and done for me. Yeah. So I'm gonna give Ultra Sun, or I think about Ultra Moon. I'll give it a shot. If I don't like it, then I don't know how it is. So yeah, for sure.
My missed games that I need to get to is Pyre from Supergiant Games, because I love Transistor and Bastion. Just haven't got around to Pyre yet. On the risk of starting the anime thing again, Danganronpa Volume 3, as I said earlier. And last of all, Ukulele. Like, I kickstarted it and got my copy, but just haven't played it yet.
I'll just do my runner-ups. Splatoon 2, Gravity Rush 2, Puyo Puyo Tetris, Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony, Golf Story, Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, Crash Bandicoot the Insane Trilogy, Doom on Switch, Persona 5, Ukulele, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Darksiders War Master Edition, which I did actually get, but I still haven't started it, A Hat in Time, Hollow Knight, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Then my fifth pick is Final Fantasy 15 Stormblood, which I think is their last DLC, but I mostly just have it on here because I still want to play Final Fantasy 15 and I haven't yet. Then Horizon Zero Dawn. It looks really interesting to me. Nier Automata. Uncharted The Lost Legacy. It's still the only Uncharted I haven't played. I even have the card game on the Vita. But I really want to try that. I've hardly looked into it just for spoiler reasons. And then Metroid Samus Returns, which I'm kind of the Metroid guy. And I got that at day one and made a huge fuss about it and made like a 40-minute unboxing video, and I still haven't actually started the game. And it's so upsetting. But I did beat Super Metroid twice since getting the game, so I guess I still have my Metroid fix.
You got the game, you got Samus Returns, unboxed and everything, and then you put Super Metroid in your SNES Classic and played it.
It came out like 2-3 weeks later. I don't know.
I was just making sure I understood that right.
Me and some friends even challenged ourselves to see how far we could get in Super Metroid blindfolded.
Jesus.
So we did that with the SNES Classic. It was so fun. It was amazing. But that's all 21 of my runner-ups.
Jeez. All right, and finally, I want to talk about like the best soundtracks of 2017s, because this is Pixel Mixers after all. We are a music community, so Levi, please, if you would, give us your top 5.
Top 5 or like the 4 through 3? Or
yeah, I'm saying 5, 4, 3.
5. Yeah, start with your 5. Okay. You know what I mean.
In 5th place, I have Hollow Knight, which I haven't listened to the soundtrack much, but what I have heard really stood out to me. The Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is my 4th. it was already super fun and crazy to begin with, and then they made a modern take on all of it, and I just think it worked out really well. Sonic Mania is my third.
Okay, my fifth one would be, I'm gonna say Cuphead, because it was just that nice fun. I'm sure genre elitists are gonna get annoyed at me, but 1930s-esque jazz, it fit really nicely. So, yeah, not much I can really say about it. Fourth, I would actually say Wolfenstein 2's soundtrack, because it's got that Mick Gordon, like, synth sort of stuff he did with Doom, of, like, really heavy guitar work, and also synthesizers. Yeah, that's about it. And then third, Persona 5, which I'm sure everyone has heard.
Yeah.
I actually haven't heard all the soundtrack to, and just in case I might end up spoiling myself, because I remember Family Jewels saying something about like doing the music for it. If you check the titles, it'll spoil some of the game for you.
Yeah,
I believe. And I did not want that to happen because I'm not playing the game yet. Now I really enjoyed Persona 4, so I don't want this to be, something ruined for me. My top three. First one was something I played.
5 through 3.
The number 5, just to clarify, came from a visual novel game that came out back in July. I'm a bit of I don't know. I love Phoenix Wright and Danganronpa, those kind of games. This game, not like those in a sense. It's, I don't know. It was from Root Letter. I don't think a lot of people have heard that game, but I really did enjoy the music in it. There was definitely some that I considered covering, but I think I've ultimately decided not to, just because I think the game might be a little bit too obscure. And I don't think I could have done much with it.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Dream Daddy.
Yeah, Dream Daddy is obscure.
Just for a split second, I thought you were going to. Sorry.
From the videos I've seen of that game, I actually did want to try it. It actually seemed pretty silly. Number 4 for me would definitely have to go to Danganronpa 3, or Danganronpa, as they might say it. I do like how they took on the themes from the other games and kind of improved them. I did like. There's one theme in particular from that game that I'm considering covering later on, which is during one of the debates, if I can figure out something I can do with it, because it sounded really freaking energetic when I first heard it, and it was probably one of my favorite moments during the game, because they're during each trial. And number 3 would have to go to Sonic Mania. It's good. I just don't like how most of the music is just. It's the game itself as well. It goes through a lot of older levels that was from older classics and stuff. But I do like how they're able to take that, but in the second act, they'll take it and they'll apply their own twist to it. And I think they did a really good job with it. I enjoyed almost all the music, especially Titanic Monarch. Oh my god, I need to do that.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't put Sonic Mania any higher than 3, because it was just a little too dependent on homages to the franchise rather than new stuff.
Titanic Monarch, I believe, was an actual original.
Yeah.
And it was, I think Act 1 is the one I'm thinking of that starts with the harpsichord and all the industrial sounds. I think that was just perfect. It's one of the best songs I've heard.
All right, so my 5th place for the soundtrack is probably going to be a surprise to people who follow what I do on the Discord. Persona 5. I don't know. I feel like I've been very vocal about being annoyed with the soundtrack, but it's honestly really good. I'm just annoyed that people covered the same 5 songs and only the same 5 songs, so I got really burnt out on them. I don't even know the names of them, but it's the one where it's it starts with the spanky guitar.
I think that's what Life is Strange.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, but there's the same 5 that people covered, and we heard every vocalist known to man singing.
Hey, Samothus, she did the best cover. I would know.
That is true. Samothus, she's the best vocalist.
Yeah, she has got amazing talents.
I think we'll and someday I hope I can work with her.
Well, I've got a monthly series with her.
Yeah, yeah, you do. Quick,
Just
plug.
throwing it out there. Pillow covers.
Go check
Yeah.
out some of this music. It's you will not be disappointed. There you go.
Fourth place. This one might be actually kind of a shocker. Doki Doki Literature Club.
I
It's
think
not
that's
shocking.
fair.
That music's good.
Like,
Had a lot of cutesy.
it's shocking just in the fact that it's a somewhat short soundtrack, but I really like the first 9 soundtracks are super like happy, cheery, and it's like they're really composed really nicely, like nice melody, nice chords, whatever. And then there's the 10th track, which is the first like shock
is
track.
that what is that? Is that called? What was it called? Sayonara.
Yeah,
That's it's a good track.
yeah, Sayonara is a pretty good one. Just because the mixture of the music and the like the images that they use, it was really well put together. Like super like on edge, tensiony, like just nasty sounding. It was great. And like one last thing about it was there's a track in there that plays when you're talking about the poems that you share. That's like a big part of the game. When you go to each individual girl,
Yeah.
the music, the instrumentation changes to fit the girl's personality, which I thought was just a really cool,
Yeah, that was
like,
one of my
thing
favorite
that they
touches
do.
I noticed in there because Monica was like a piano.
Yeah, I was going to mention
And-
that too. The song's
Yeah.
called "Okay Everybody," I believe, and everyone
That's
has
the
their
one.
each different
Yeah,
version and arrangement. So Monica piano, Natsuki's is a lot more of like that Kickstarter-esque ukulele, and
yeah. Well, no, that was Sayori. Sayori had like the ukulele, like happy Kickstarter shit. Natsuki was like the childish one, like toy piano, xylophone, stuff like that. And Yuri, it was Yuri had the like the very like orchestral like harp string section and stuff like that. But it was same. It was the same song, just done differently.
more
I thought that
like
was really
fitting towards their personalities within the game.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, like they actually put in like some effort into the soundtrack, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I have like 2 songs from there that I really want to do sometime. One was a more they're both songs that come near the end of the game. One was like super mellow, and the other one was, I think, the actual main theme, only a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. My third choice, following Doki Doki Literature Club, Super Mario Odyssey.
Woo.
It's a good soundtrack. It's good. Don't know what else to say about it. It's like
It's good.
it's jazzy. It's cool.
It's like Breath of the Wild again. What did we say? Everyone said everything.
Yeah. So that's my number 3, Super Mario Odyssey.
My second choice is a game that is not out yet, but I'm still going to count it anyway. And that's Okami HD. Because I only found out about the original game soundtrack this year anyway when I was playing it. And conveniently, they're re-releasing it in December, so it technically counts. And I just really like it. It fits the game really well, and I really like the aesthetics behind it and the instrumentation. It just has a sound that isn't really heard that often in games now, or at least in the States. And I don't know, it's just really charming. I like a lot of the music from it, and I just kind of wish the soundtrack got more recognition.
My second pick is Pyre, again from Supergiant Games, and it's similar stuff to like Darren Corp's done before with Transistor and Bastion, but different elements added to it. So yeah, it's just got nice blends of different styles in it. It's even got some like thrash metal song in it, which is cool.
My second pick actually goes to Mario Odyssey. I do really love the music in this game. My favorites, definitely, well, of course, One Up Girl. I do like the little motif in there that it's Pauline, and it's also got some. It's got what is it? Donkey Kong's track. It has that as one of the main riffs after a certain part in the song. I think it's like after the chorus or something. Before it starts over. It's a really nice touch. There's another section in there. There's another section. I think it's the the more anime sounding song in the soundtrack. It actually implements Bowser's theme into it, which I freaking loved. I love that section of the game. I love that song. One of my top favorites.
Is
And
that the
all around
other
the
one
music.
with vocals?
Yeah, the other Pauline
Yeah.
vocalist song. Those are my top two from the game. The actual words themselves, they've got plenty of great music that just immerses you in the world. Like, you got the desert world music. That's probably like another top favorite of mine. And it's just one of those games I've listened to the soundtrack at work and most all the way through. I don't really have much of a complaint. Like, it doesn't really bore me or anything. I can just listen to them casually. One of my favorite this year.
All right, so for my second choice, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch.
It's got a good one.
It is like there's especially like was it Big Blue? I think has like the super like I think it's the saxophone solo. It's super fusiony.
Just goes.
Like it's like a really fun soundtrack, just full of like fusion and fitting music. Otherwise, depending on the
That's
level.
probably one of my favorite songs. Is Big Blue. They just go absolutely nuts. I'm like, God.
Yeah. And then there's like the Zelda medley and the Zelda track.
I love that song. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah, like they did a really good job, I think, with that soundtrack, like making it sound interesting, but not being like super race game sounding, if that makes sense. Like it's a fun soundtrack, even just on its own. You don't have to play the game with it.
Yeah, you can just sit down and listen to it, and you're like, it's so nice. Because it's like all jazz and stuff like that. So it's great for, casual listening, but it's also arranged in a way that it's full of energy that you can race to it as well, which I really loved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So let's go through our honorable mentions really quick before we get to our first choice. So yeah, just really quick, just list them off.
For me, some of the honorable mentions, I didn't put Mario Odyssey in mine because I've played half hour of it. I can't really say much about the soundtrack. Breath of the Wild, I wasn't sure if it was worth including because of all the ambient. But then my main honorable mentions were Splatoon 2, Hive Swap, Night in the Woods, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, Persona 5, Metroid Samus Returns, and Cuphead almost made my list. Almost.
Yeah, my honorable mention just is to Nier Automata, or however you want to pronounce it. And that's pretty much just what I got for that.
Yeah.
Oh, and Hollow Knight. Yeah.
I don't really have any honorable mentions for mine, because if I did, it'd be probably from the missed games that I've listed.
Yeah, like my honorable mentions were Doki Doki and Persona, and then I realized we had 5 on the list. I was like, oops. But I'm looking at my list. The ones that I haven't listed are Night in the Woods and Cuphead. So you can also just replace that with literally any indie game. Probably had a decent soundtrack this year. I don't know. I was bad. Sorry. But anyways, with that, Levi, what is your top choice?
I actually thought I would be the only one choosing this one, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Hey!
I thought most people would forget it came out this year or something like that, but I just really like the variety of it. That's kind of my biggest thing, because they have like live instruments for everything, and it's recorded very well, and they definitely know what to do to keep it upbeat and just kind of a fun track regardless of if it's just listening to it or if it's in context with racing. And I just like the variety so much. Like, they've got tracks that are kind of tropical, tracks that are, I don't know, like electric guitar, but tracks like, I don't know, whatever you want to call Electrodome.
A masterpiece.
And yeah, they've just got so much variety to the tracks, and they're always so interesting. And I can't even decide on a favorite. That's just, there's just so many in there. Although probably the credits comes close. And I love the remastered tracks for so many of the older ones, because there's like 16 tracks from earlier games in the series that mostly kind of had their, I don't know, digitized representation of the music in the original games, but they like went on full on big band and remastered all of them super well, like Rainbow Road 64, stuff like that. Like, it just sounds really good in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I just really like that soundtrack. So many good things to say about
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, probably shouldn't or
Kain?
won't surprise anyone considering how much I've covered from it this year. But again, Night in the Woods. Like, I genuinely wanted to cover as many songs and just do a month of only doing covers from it, but then realized that's probably not a good idea. Yeah, I just loved the soundtrack. Like, pretty much every track was just like really pleasant and had quite a lot of variety in it. There were some like more rocky songs, some more chilled out ones. Hell, there was even a game within the game called Demon Tower, I think, which had like this whole 8-bit soundtrack. And I believe the song is called The Blood Thief,
So
which
cool.
sounds very Castlevania. It's just like, it's just so good. Play it. Do covers from it, because I want to hear more covers.
My first choice, no, shocker, I know, definitely goes to Hat in Time. Just yeah, the music, I just love how the main theme, it's got this weird little theremin kind of sound to it, and the actual, the melody itself is so recognizable. It's just one of those things you hear, it's like, yeah, of course, that's Hat in Time. And I think that is the best thing you can do with the soundtrack, is it's so identifiable that it's just exactly what that belongs to. You hear it, it's something that becomes really iconic, like Mario or Zelda, and all that. That's like one thing you really strive to achieve, is to make something that just is really ingrained in your head. And I think that's exactly what Hat in Time did with me, because a lot of the music is really good, just phenomenal.
Yeah, like you were saying about having something that's so unique towards a soundtrack. Hearing something you're just like, there's no way I can physically play that, and then thinking, oh, that's probably from Super Meat Boy or from anything by Jake Kaufman.
Yeah. Like Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
Very great music. That stuff is insane. But Hat in Time, it's just, each area has its own identity, and I think they did a really good job with the compositions in every one of them. And I love how it seems like the boss fights, I think, from what I hear, it sounds like it kind of ties in the main theme as well into the boss fight in some way. Like, one thing I noticed with the Mafia boss theme, before the first time I heard it, I was like, this is awesome. And I actually took a little listen a little more critically to the soundtrack. It kind of sounds like it's built upon the actual Mafia theme in some form or fashion, because I kind of heard the same notes kind of being played in the same melody and structure from the boss theme. And I think if they did that for the rest of the world, I'm not sure if they have or not, then that is a really, really freaking nice touch, because that makes me think of something like Undertale, how it makes the world seem that much more connected.
That's why I put Hive Swap in my honorable mentions, because it was actually, I don't think exclusively, but partially same. Oh, what was the guy who made Undertale? I can't remember.
Toby Fox.
Yeah, he contributed a lot to the Hive Swap soundtrack, which is why I put that on there.
Or like what we were saying about Doki Doki Literature Club, like having each character have a set variation on one theme. It just makes it more personable and opens it up a bit.
Yeah.
It's a nice little touch.
Nice. Yeah, I love the little touch when I first heard it. I was like, that's really cool.
All right, so my first choice, this is probably going to be totally lackluster.
After the two unexpected ones.
Yeah. So my top choice for soundtrack of the year is Shantae Half Genie Hero.
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually.
Like, the game, it starts out with Dance to the Danger, or Dance with, Dance
I
with,
think it's Dance
you
Through.
know,
I don't
that
know.
track. Yeah. It starts off with that track. That track is amazing. Christina V has great vocals on it, great instrumentation. The next track, I think, is freaking Neo Burning Town.
Yeah,
which is
another
like
excellent theme.
I think I've heard.
It's like a dubstep metal remix of Burning Town, and it's like, holy crap, that just kicked my face in. And then you get to like the battle theme, like the boss battle theme, and it's just really cool. It sounds almost something like Dream Theater would write, like super like Systematic Chaos era, super like heavy, driving, and like just it's just really good, you know. And I just think like each area theme represents the area really well, and like they're just all really great songs, and I just want to cover them all.
I know. There was one I found. I think 16 in Mono. He was doing a poll for which song to cover, and one of them was from Chante. I cannot remember what it's called. I think it was like something to do with mermaids, like Mermaid Factory.
Yeah, Mermaid Falls probably.
It was. I think it was like a factory or reverse or something like that. I heard that. I was like, damn, this shit is catchy. I was like,
Right.
Good God, who made this? I was like, Shovel Knight. I was like, oh, of course, makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Mr. J. Kaufman. Like
The master.
he just does great work. Yeah, like, and what I like is it's not like super like technical sounding. Like it's not like Shovel Knight where it's like, you know, because it's
Where
the
you've
8-bit
just got
sound in Shovel
crazy
Knight.
things going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like this is actually like somewhat playable by a human.
yeah.
On real instruments.
Yeah.
Which I think is just really cool. And just, I mean, I'm a huge fan of like taking like Middle Eastern sound like into music. Like I really love that type of sound, and the way he like meshes it with more like contemporary Western sounds as well is like it's just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just going to mention this now because I'm sure someone might get annoyed about it, but that we all left Breath of the Wild off our mention in terms of the soundtrack.
I gave
What
it a
soundtrack
I gave
does
it
it
a
have?
semi honorable mention because my favorite track
You mentioned it in
Yeah.
passing.
Yeah. my favorite soundtrack or my favorite track from the game is hardly even from the game. It's just Ritu Village, which is just Dragon Roost Island on acoustic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
With
got some
like some
different elements
oboe
going on.
and mandolin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll say this about Breath of the Wild. It was a good soundtrack in the game. Outside of the game, I don't take very much joy into listening to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why it took so long for it to grow on me, because Zelda's a series which has always had such like iconic themes and like
They just kinda
every
took away
town
on
or
that.
everything just stands out.
Yeah.
But I see why they went for something more ambient related with Breath of
yeah,
the Wild.
because
But
the whole world is like
it just-
destroyed. Basically, it's all desolate and everything.
Yeah.
I get it because it seems like the theme that you hear that you recognize from other games, it almost sounds kind of distant. Like I believe there was
Yeah.
one, like the actual field theme. If you sped it up,
Oh,
you could hear
yeah.
Zelda's lullaby and echoing
No,
through
that
right
was
there.
the Temple of Time.
Was it?
Yeah, where you
Oh.
meet the king in the
Yeah.
very beginning.
I think
But
that
I think
was
they leaned too heavily upon relying on
Yeah.
past soundtracks
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bit too much, because then it didn't really give the game its own identity besides ambience.
Yeah.
which-
ambience and dying.
Yeah.
That's all that
Yeah.
game was. You died.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the thing is. Like, if let's say that track was totally comparable to like an Ocarina of Time or like a Twilight Princess type soundtrack with the super like memorable tracks, how would that game be different with those soundtracks instead of the more ambient sounding ones? I think
Yeah.
that kind of like just tells you about that soundtrack.
That's the
right?
thing. When
Yeah.
it comes to Breath of the Wild soundtrack, I feel like playing the game, it fits perfectly. But then when you think about it
Yeah.
afterwards, it's just like, well, it could have had, but I enjoyed the experience anyway. So really, I think what
Yeah.
they did worked
Except for-
overall for the
But
goal.
when they did
Yeah,
do
like-
some actual more original songs for it, it did actually work quite nicely, like with Attack on Va Naboris, which
Yeah.
has got like that, again, the more Eastern sort of instrumentation. That worked really nicely and stands out
Yeah.
and provides a more memorable experience to it, rather than just if it was like the howling sound of a desert. Because then you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's why I did that.
And the character
Yeah.
themes,
Yeah.
which are short, but
Yeah.
they're still there, like Rivali and what are the other? That was
Mifa.
whatever the
I really have
whatever
no
the
complaints with the
Goron's name was.
soundtrack. We'll
Daruk?
just call him Darudo or whatever his name is.
Gerudo's the complete opposite.
No, Darudo or
Oh.
whatever his name was from Ocarina
I
of
think
Time.
it was Daruk.
I don't
Probably.
know.
Y'all are forgetting about our shark husband, dude.
Freaking
Oh,
freaking
Sidon? No.
Yeah, Sidon, that's it. I kept wanting to say Siphon. I'm like, that's not it.
That just gave me a solid period of just hating the internet and just being like,
Not
Our
what
fish
is
husband,
wrong
though.
with you?
Yeah.
You
I don't,
weirdos.
I don't know where this love came from. I was like, I heard this theme, I heard it. I was like, yeah, I'm covering that, and it's like one of my best songs from this year, actually.
Yeah.
To the point where like Guillermo del Toro was retweeting pictures of Link and Sidon. It's like, what the hell has happened?
Yeah.
The internet is broke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
All right.
I think that's a
With
good point
that-
to wrap up.
can I propose one final thing? Really short, though.
Sure.
We each recommend one game to the viewers or the listeners that we think went under the radar this year that we really think people should play.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
For me, I'd do Paradigm for that. I feel like no one knows what it is anyway, but it's a really fun game with just a really... It's got some interesting gameplay, really interesting scenarios, and it's... the script is what really makes it. It's a point-and-click adventure game. Really funny.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going with saying like, if you're a filthy millennial, just play Night in the Woods.
You'll relate in some way, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There was this small little game that came out on the PlayStation 4 this year. You might have
Horizon.
heard it. It's called Undertale.
It came out on the Came out on the Vita too.
It's called what?
It came out on the Vita too.
A little game called Undertale.
Oh, yeah,
You might
that's
have heard
right.
of
Yeah,
it.
Undertale.
Tail
know,
Under?
so-
Hey,
You can go check that
that
out.
means... wait, no. Undertale, best soundtrack of the year. Just because it came out on the PS4 this year.
I am so kicking you from the Pixel Mixers Discord.
Is that the one where you just kill everyone and forget about the pacifist?
Yeah, because, playing the game and enjoying yourself, that's no fun. Just do what everybody else wants to do. Just be an evil asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually still haven't done a genocide route or playthrough.
Can we not
Yeah,
have an
I'm in the
Undertale discussion, please?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just
I can't
stop
say
there.
much on it.
Undertale was cool
a more
2 years ago.
serious-
Let's go back to these other things.
Yeah, a more serious answer. It's not under the radar, but I just want people to play it. Just please play Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah.
I want other people to know like how that game is.
Fully agree on that.
They need to experience it themselves. It's free. It's
Oh,
on
it's
Steam.
free?
There's no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
It's
didn't know
free.
that.
You can donate if
you
you
can
want.
even get
reason-
it on itch.io, I think it
I'll
is.
play that after class.
They have it for download there as well.
Unless they give me homework.
Yeah, there's no reason to not play it. I think it takes 2 to 3 hours to play through the first act, and maybe another hour or two for the other two.
Yeah, it's about 5
Like,
hours
it's a-
long.
And
you can play it
also
in
it
one or
will
two
run on
sittings.
like a toaster, so there's no excuse
Yeah.
not to play it.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So like,
definitely a game worth checking out. That's actually one of the games I was going to recommend, other than Divinity 2. I don't know how many people actually know about Divinity 2. I don't think it seems like it. To me, it seems like not a lot of people know about it, and I can't recommend it enough because even Matt Mercer, the DM for Critical Role, amazing voice actor, McCree, he did a virtual DM for a group in the actual game, and I think that's really cool how you could they're bringing that kind of thing back from like Neverwinter Nights, where you could just be the dungeon master if you wanted to in a game. I don't like how there's only you can only do 4-player for Thank you for just derailing my train of thought there.
Apologies.
Stay out of the text chat. You're ruining it.
Sorry.
Just go to the bathroom, jam.
It's been like 2 hours.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
We
we're
should
wrapping
really
it up.
wrap
let's
up.
just.
But
Let's,
yeah, definitely
okay,
check out
but
Divinity 2 and Doki Doki and all the other games previously mentioned, and also Undertale.
Yes, that small game called Undertale.
Yeah, very small.
But with
Yeah.
that, I would like to thank everybody for being on this ride of a podcast. Anybody who's listened to this whole thing, I applaud you. Tell us your favorite games and soundtracks in the comments. We'd love to see that. Maybe we missed something that we're overlooking, or maybe you agree with our choices. Let us know. As always, there's a Google Doc in the description. Let us know if you have any comments or questions you'd like us to talk about.
And links to all of our channels will also be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You should check these
Should
guys
we link
out.
our recommended games if they're on PC or something?
Nope.
No, that gives us more work to do.
Yeah. So anyways, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
I have been Ben. You can find me on Twitter. I am at Bullicann, 2 L's, 1 C, 2 N's. Kain, where can we find you?
I'm Kain White, Kain, and then White, and you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, etc. under that name.
I am Levi Bechtold, Bechtold. I guess you can find me on Twitter. I don't do anything there, but I'm mostly on YouTube. I'm a Let's Play channel, not a music channel, but I'm looking to change that sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Farrell. You know, if you really enjoy heavy metal video game covers that, you know, that try to get stuck in your head, you can follow me on YouTube at an old account name, Mr. Crazy Train Zero. I'm trying to get it changed to Mr. Farrell to match up with the rest of the areas, but the rest is Twitter, you know, the Mr. Farrell, because Mr. Farrell's already taken, sadly. I don't really talk much on there. You can always message me or say something, and I'll get back to you. That's it for me.
All right. Well, again, thank you guys very much for being here. It was a pleasure to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be on here.
Yeah. Until next time, see you guys later.
Bye.
Take care.